It might have some violence.
Whenever you rent or buy a video, you need to be sure that the film you choose is suitable for the audience at home. To help you, there are certificates given to films which tell you broadly what the film is like. This film has been classified 18. In other words, it can be seen by people of all ages. There'll be nothing unsuitable for children, and the whole family might well enjoy strong scenes of sex or violence, which could be quite graphic.
It might have some violence. Thanks for listening.
This is the Movie Offal podcast with your hosts, Karl and Mac.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Movie Offal. I'm Karl.
And I'm Mac.
And this is our first show, so it's going to be a bit rough around the edges, but stick with us. I'm sure it'll get fucking worse as time goes on.
It's just going to go random, so just think of it as like a David Lynch type experience where you think you're listening to something and then there'll be a tangent, it'll suddenly go on Mouth of Madness, you'll be thinking you're seeing blue all the time. It's just going to be random shit.
And then you'll see me in your bedroom as well, just looking at you while you're trying to sleep.
Chances are I'm probably already in your bedroom when you're sleeping anyway.
I'm in your bedroom now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're whacking one out right now.
Well, I just finished, to be honest. I needed to take advantage of you not actually being there, so... But I feel we should maybe explain to people what Movie Offal actually is and what we're planning it to be. So, Mac, what would your perception be of this show that we've been talking about for about a month? Of what are we trying to do here?
Well, I think it's just to convey our love of the old VHS classics, the cults. So growing up as kids in the 80s and 90s, just spending so much time in the video shops, picking up videos, like all the artwork of videos, literally analysing every single video for about half hour before you'd actually even choose it at the counter. Just all the love of VHS. So
and not just like in the adult section as well, yeah, we're talking about now. We're talking about horror films as well.
The adult section was good. Even as a 12-year-old boy, like the adult section was the holy grail.
It really was. You'd have to. I used to get like a video cassette saying My Little Pony, pretend I was reading the back of it, and then toe punt it into the adult section, go over to pick it up, and then Bob's Your Uncle, you're holding like Bend Over Hits the UK Part 3, having a little look at the back of that, and then the guy in the video shop going, you need to move away from your son. And I'm like, I can't, not just yet, and just having to hang around for a little while. So, but yeah, I think Movie Offal's pretty much going to be, like Mark was saying, our love of the old sort of classics, going into a video shop and that sort of analysing and not always necessarily watching the film either, just imagining what the film would be like just from looking at the artwork.
Oh, exactly. And again, that doesn't include the adult ones, obviously. I can imagine what was going on in those films, that was a scary, confusing, happy time. But just and not just horror films, you had your action classics, you had your ninja films. There's a whole spate of killer robot films as well. It was just so much great stuff going on in those times.
Were there any killer robot ninja films?
I think there was one called Killer Robot Ninja, but I might just be imagining that. But I'm sure there was a lot of Robot Cop. I'm sure there was.
There was a lot of American-based ones as well, like your American Cyborg, American Ninja, and there was the fabled American Buddha Cop, which nobody seemed to have. No matter how many times we kept phoning the local video shop and asking them if they had it.
That was one of our little games we used to play as kids, wasn't it? We'd just go into a video shop and just request films which didn't even exist. And they would just be there looking for ages on the computer trying to find these films like Space Salads, American Buddha Cop, and just never ever finding them.
So let's introduce ourselves a little bit so people know who the hell they're listening to. So I'm Karl.
And I'm Mac.
And that's all you need to know. So me and Mac have been friends since I think about 14 or 13.
13, I think it was, in English class in school.
That's it.
Because you might tell by our accents, we've got quite different accents now, but we grew up in pretty much the same town and went to the same school. And our English teacher, in a moment of just absolute madness, put us together. Yeah, she wasn't thinking straight, and she put us together in English class. And
which English teacher was there? Was it the one? Was it the one that kept coming with black eyes all the time?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that explains why she did that.
Yeah.
She was obviously like, she was probably getting beaten by her husband a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah. I seem to remember she used to wear quite short skirts as well.
Yeah, but she had really big thighs.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, they were. She could have been a professional wrestler, no doubt.
yeah, definitely. No, what's her name? It's probably best that we don't actually say her name, is it? But
Yeah,
any of
we
our
probably have to
friends that
beep it
are
out
listening
for
that were in our
legal
class will
reasons.
know who we're talking about.
Yeah. 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 I do remember her name now, and I shall email it to you after.
Yeah.
We have to Facebook, see if she's still alive, see if she's still
Yeah, just
got
do a
her black
little
eyes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just have a little look on Facebook. But yeah, I can't even remember how I think we just got chatting, and then I think we were told you weren't allowed to leave the school premises at lunchtime, were you?
No, that's it. And I only lived about a 10-minute walk from school, and we just went back to my house every lunchtime, and we just started putting on horror films, and occasionally when we were a bit older, it was stuff like Basic Instinct. But to begin with, it was stuff like House. And I remember putting on House. Not so much. We loved the film.
It was great.
But primarily just for the last 5 minutes with the end credits, because my mum would always walk in and she would start singing the song. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good,
baby, you're no good. Yeah.
And she had the worst and one of the greatest ladies in the world, but by God, she couldn't sing for shit. Like,
yeah, it was great. She never really noticed that the same film was on every single
fucking day.
Every day. And then that sort of thing kind of escalated to trapping your mum in the shed and stuff as well, didn't it? After telling her that there was a load of pornographic magazines stored in there. Yeah. That was
one day as well, we just told everyone randomly there was a party going on in my house after lunch on like some Wednesday or Thursday. Like, bear in mind, we're only about 14. and those kids were just mitching off school then, knocking on my mum's door.
Yeah, I think we were actually in school though, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we've gone back to school.
Yeah.
But then there was also Chris Chew. He ended up locked in your mum's bedroom as well somehow, didn't he? Where we tied the door handle. Yeah. So that's the sort of people that me and Mac actually were.
This is how we become friends, basically, just tormenting other kids.
Being absolute
dicks.
Yeah.
But no, remember, as I say, talking over the table, just we sort of talking about, if I remember correctly, it was I think it was Evil Dead and Trick or Treat were sort of two films which got us going, and we just realised then we had this mutual love for these films, and we just bonded straight away then, and we've had a strange sort of path together ever since, because we ended up leaving school and we ended up in the same job together.
That was after you you joined the army.
Oh man, that was
you saw some shit, man, didn't you?
I was the worst. Genuinely, this is no word of a lie now. I was the worst soldier ever. They wouldn't even let me have a rifle with live ammo. I was that bad. They gave me a pickaxe handle to carry around.
Did they write gun on the side of it?
No, they didn't let me have a. They wouldn't let me have a pen. Just a pickaxe handle. And I was on guard duty, and I had to walk around the army base with a pickaxe handle, as if I could stop any terrorists with anyone invading a camp. Like, imagine Red Dawn if it was just the heroes with pickaxe handles.
I don't know. I reckon you could have stopped September the 11th.
Yeah, like, I could have given like some mild concussions, maybe.
I reckon you could have done it. You could have stopped all of those planes from crashing into World Trade Center and Pentagon and all that just with your pickaxe handle, because I bet you were pretty nifty after how many years were you in the army with a pickaxe handle?
6 months.
6 months. So 6 months, mate. If I had a pickaxe handle, I could do nothing with it right now. I wouldn't even know how to hold it. But you've got 6 months of experience.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
God bless America.
I think that could be a next movie franchise. Just some badass guy, a soldier, just goes round with a pickaxe handle, just stopping wars.
What would you call it?
Ooh,
hard to handle.
Hard to handle, I like that. Yeah,
that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Don't pick a fight with me. I don't know.
That's it. Yeah, that could be his tagline.
Yeah.
You picked the wrong guy. There we go.
See, anything.
We're just making films here as well. We're making history.
The worst thing is now, Harvey Weinstein's probably listening to this now, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to have those two lads. I'm going to get them into my room. I'm going to make them pitch me some movies.
He is. He's going to be like, I'm going to fill both their beards with my balls. and I hope that they don't want it to happen as well. Because if they do, then that's the end. That's the contract void. Like, it's not going to work. So, what are you drinking there, Mac?
Oh, sorry, I'm having a nice refreshing glass of Lef.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so it's not even 12 o'clock on Sunday yet.
You know, it's past 12 o'clock somewhere, so why not?
Yeah, it's bound to be. In it. Yeah. I'm just drinking this delicious Italian-style lemon drink called limonata.
Oh,
and what I really like about
exotic.
it, yes, what's really cool is that on the top of the can, it's usually got a little bit of foil, which means that if any rats have done a shit or a piss, or if a guy's been playing with his penis near the can, I can just peel the foil off, and I can't taste semen or rat piss.
That's always a bonus. Some people prefer that taste of semen and rat piss, but I'm quite old-fashioned. I prefer rat piss-free.
I'm more of a sour drinker than a kind of a savoury, salt-based drinker, to be honest. So,
so as we said, there's going to be a lot of tangents in this podcast. We might actually talk about film at some point. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, like I'm going to go back to films here, but do you know, like I didn't actually get to watch Evil Dead or Hellraiser until I was near 15.
Okay,
so yeah. It was really weird. So my dad was great at letting me watch horror films. Like I watched a load of films I shouldn't have watched when I was little. Like I remember one of the first horror films that I watched was Ghoulies.
Oh, classic.
Now, obviously, if you watch that these days, it's a pile of shite, and you know it's in a good way. It's not that scary at all. But you got to think, I was about 4 years old when I seen this, and you got these little fucking demonic creatures. There's a bit in it as well where one of them busts out of a giant life-size clown. I don't know if you remember that.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Because I always preferred the second one to the first one. I can vaguely remember. Is it like some seance at a house party or some seance at a manor? Yeah. Yeah,
it's mental. So it's your classic bunch of kids all go to this house. They find like a sort of demonic witchcrafty bit in the basement. The hunky boyfriend, he decides, I'm going to learn some black magic. I think he's somehow related to an evil wizard, because that's going to happen. And he conjures up all of these creatures by accident. And he conjures up the three ghoulies. And then he has a house party. And then this is the story exactly as it is. Then a clown's in it. Then a demon comes out of the clown and his eyes bleed. And then there's a fight between two wizards. One of them's a zombie, one of them's an old man, and then the guy's got yellow eyes. So, like, if you're 4 years old watching that shit, I mean, that's a mindfuck. I mean, I know it makes sense now when I recall it, and that makes perfect sense. But as a kid, that makes no fucking sense. And yeah, it really scared me. I was like, films are not supposed to be confusing. What's going on?
I suppose like growing up with things like Neverending Story or Star Wars and then just watching that, it's just like, what the hell?
Exactly. Yellow eyes. Talking about yellow eyes, the other one. The other one that scared me was fucking Thriller, the Thriller video.
Okay.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me.
I think Michael Jackson probably scared a lot of young boys at some point, but I think it was justified in this one.
Yeah, but I'd say there was a lot of young boys that weren't scared. Which brings us on to Sable.
Sorry, keep interrupting over you, sorry. But my memory of Ghoulies as a child was so much more of the actual case rather than the film. Going back to what we were saying in video shops.
Yeah,
the cases were sometimes a lot more cooler than the actual films themselves.
That's right, because it was the thing popping up out of the toilet, wasn't it? The actual ghoulie. Yeah.
The famous tagline as well, isn't it? They'll get you in, or they'll get yours in the end.
Yeah. And as a kid, I didn't know what that meant either. I was like, have I got these creatures in my house? And the other really cool thing about that video cover is that creature looks exactly like my brother, or my brother Neil. When he was little, that's what he used to look like, was that green ghoulie creature that's coming up out of the toilet.
Did he stick him out of toilets himself?
Well, I tried pushing him into a toilet and painting him green, but Mum was really cross. And I was like, it's just an experiment, because I took the video case into the toilet with me, put it next to the toilet, grabbed Neil as a baby, he was about 3, just pushed him into the toilet, paint him green. Mum's like, "What are you fucking doing?"
It's just cosplay, isn't it?
It is. It was. It's cosplay. That's it. He was upside down, with his face in the toilet, and I was painting my brother's testicles. So I can understand possibly why Mum was cross. If I'd done it the right way up, then, but I was young.
Yeah.
So what was one of the first films you watched then? Or what do you remember?
I remember it vividly. Demons.
Yeah.
Produced by Dario Argento, and again, just kind of the films I'd seen prior to that. My horror films are kind of limited to things like Abbott and Costello, Meet Frankenstein, the old black and white Universals, a couple of Hammer horror films. But my dad was extremely liberal with what I could watch, and he bought Demons back one night and said, "Yeah, I can watch it." And my mind was blown. It's just to go from seeing Abbott and Costello to something like Demons, which is so visceral, just batshit crazy, just so in your face. It was just just a life-changing experience. And Tony the Pimp is the greatest movie character, I think, in history.
Yes. He is. You got to meet him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did get to meet him. I think he was one of the first horror actors I ever got to meet.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a mindfuck in a way, because like Demons is such a big part of my life, and to meet him, and he's this big black guy, and then he's just got this broad Italian accent there, and it just doesn't quite meld together.
So they dub over, like after dub all the voices, don't they, with the Argento films and
Yeah.
So did they not have a guy dubbing him when you seen him?
Well, that's what I thought the guy who was with him was his voiceover guy.
And was he an even bigger, blacker guy?
So he's like, "Hey, how are you, Steve?" And then the guy was like, "Hey, Steve, how are you?"
Was he going like this, "Mamma mia," like that to you? But then the other guy's going, "Mamma mia, motherfucker!"
Yeah, but he was lovely actually. And he when I explained how Demons was the first thing, he said, so I was your first nightmare." Well, that's more like Bela Lugosi then.
Yeah, it sounded
Bobby
like
Rhodes, but
Camps from Sesame Street.
Yeah, but I was lucky enough, going off another tangent, to see Demons on a big screen last year.
Yeah,
and it was such an amazing experience to see Demons, which is for those who haven't seen it, shame on you. It's a horror film basically set in a cinema, and to watch it in the cinema as an adult was fantastic, and to watch it with a good crowd who would appreciate it for the film as well was just a really good experience.
I think I think Demons was actually one of the first of like that level of kind of almost body horror type films I'd seen done to that degree. Like when she's sort of changing and you see the fingernails fucking busting out and you see the demonic ones coming out, and is it on her cheek? She's got like a yellow bloody
right, yeah,
on cheek and stuff. I mean, it's pretty grim.
Well, to me, it was almost kind of like American Werewolf in London. Everyone says is this like iconic transformation scene and all that, but for me, Demons is on that level where transformation is just so in your face, it's slow. You're feeling her pain, you're feeling her suffering with it, especially when the teeth start protruding through her mouth. And
that's right, I forgot about the teeth and that as well.
Yeah, and some of it was done stop motion as well, which I always think stop motion effects look amazing in horror. Yeah, and to see that happening is a very effective special effect. But it's amazing. Looking back on it though, an amazing film it is. And I had the VHS of it as well, so I wore it out as I did with several other VHSs. But again, that's going back to the adult ones. But with Demons, one thing which always stood out was how batshit crazy the soundtrack was as well. It was just the most bizarre soundtrack to a film. It just did not fit whatsoever. You got like Billy Idol, Go West. It's just Saxon. It was just all these bizarre bands on this horror film just being tacked on for no reason.
But yeah, I do like the way they just suddenly just fucking pop into scenes as well. It's just like, we'll just use this song now and just slam that in there. And it's a really cool film. I quite like the second one as well.
I was about to say the same thing, Karl. It's just I think the second one's a very underappreciated stuff. There's a lot of very subversive stuff going on as well, like the scene where the demon comes from they're watching telly and the demon comes through the telly.
Yeah.
And this is like before Ring, it's
That's it. Yeah, it's really cool.
And as well, Bobby Rhodes, who played Tony the Pimp in the first film, made another appearance in this one as Hank the Gym Instructor, which is probably the second best movie character ever.
Did he have a different person doing his dubbing when he was being
He was exactly the same person. I think exactly the same character. It was just he was a gym instructor rather than a pimp.
Gym instructor dedicated to pimping.
Yeah.
Pimp instructing. Nice.
No, it's I genuinely enjoyed the second one as well. I don't think it's the same level as the first one, but it's got a lot of things it does better and stuff it does worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying about Hellraiser as well, Karl, because that's one of my favourite horror films.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my dad had a series of films where he was all right with me watching certain horror films, and then there were ones where he thought maybe went a little bit too far. So Hellraiser was one of them, Evil Dead, and another one, funny enough, which was one of my most ultimate fucking favorite films, Robocop, the first Robocop film. So I ended up, the only way I managed to watch all of these films was I would basically wait until my parents went out of the room, and I had a video player in my bedroom, and then just take the videos upstairs and just watch them secretly. And then one day, as a special treat, because I came down with really, really bad flu when I was about 15, and I was fucking bedridden for about a month. And as a special treat, because he's a soft fucker, he was like, Karl, I've got you Hellraiser, Evil Dead, Robocop, and it was actually the first Nightmare on Elm Street he had a bit of a problem with me watching as well. Brought all these videos in, and I had to pretend that I hadn't seen them before, when I'd seen pretty much every single one of them, and also started my love of trying to find banned horror films and different ways of getting them as well. So yeah,
that's probably a topic for a different podcast about our time on the RAF base with the banned horror films.
Oh Jesus, yeah, my video collection going around with printed out. Hey, you want to buy some videos? But yeah, we'll come back to that. But yeah, fucking Hellraiser. Well, it's just amazing. It's a shame that where it's gone now. I had high hopes for the last sequel that came out.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't even remember who it was that done it. We had another Pinhead in there.
Yeah, I think I got about 20 minutes into it, and it wasn't a Hellraiser film to me. It was just torture porn. And I don't mind that as a genre. It's just I like my Hellraiser to be about the moral thing, the demons, the whole play for your soul. It was just something completely different.
There was some really good concepts in it, but like you said, he went a bit too I can't remember the guy who did it, but he just went down this thing of going, do you know what? I'm going to make something really, really grotesque. And I think if he had some good story writing and could actually justify the grotesqueness a little bit more, then brilliant. Because I don't know if you've seen that far. They had things where I believe it was like you had to write down your sin, or you had to write something down, and they had these people that were all chained up, and they had to eat the sin, and then they regurgitated up a response and things like that. And it was all this really cool, nightmarish, hellish things, and a lot of sadomasochistic things that were coming in there. But what made like the original Hellraiser 2 brilliant was that, yep, they were quite visceral, but they were poetic, and the story behind them, like Pinhead, I mean, is just fucking iconic. Like the way he speaks, the reverence behind him, it's so believable. And over time, that's kind of pitted out. I mean, there was a few of the sequels I thought were pretty cool. I liked, I thought Inferno was pretty cool.
Inferno was one of my favourite sequels after the second one. I think Inferno was probably my third favourite.
Yeah, but Hellraiser I think is great, and they've teased us for a long time. Clive Barker sort of teased us a bit about how he's gonna get the rights back, and I believe that they had some of the shock French film directors were tied to it for a little bit. The people behind the film Inside, I think, we're gonna be doing a sequel.
Very good film.
And there was some concept art of how Pinhead was gonna look, and it looks so much cooler. Like the scars going up his head looked like they'd been done with a jagged piece of glass. They just weren't straight. Okay. And the nails were really uneven all through the skull. Pinhead looked amazing. And he actually wore a proper priest robe as well. It was not sadomasochistic. So I was so excited. And yeah, like a lot of these awesome looking sequels that I've talked about online, it just vanished. It didn't go any further than the concept stuff, you know. So
see, for me, and Pinhead's fantastic. He's an amazing character, but in the original Hellraiser, I always thought Julia was a far more scarier character
yeah,
to me personally than Hellraiser, because in Hellraiser he wasn't even called Pinhead then, was he? He was just called the lead Cenobite, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
And it's like he's a demon, that's his purpose. But with Julia, every bad thing she does is her choice. She is just an evil fucker by choice.
Yeah.
And I found that far more disturbing to me.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you know, and again, especially in the second film as well, the way that she sort of gets on that, she's just a horrible person through and through. But
and I think that's credit as well to the actress Claire Higgins, I believe her name is, because I remember seeing an interview. She said she's not a horror fan at all. She's quite squeamish. She doesn't like horror, but to throw herself into that sort of performance and role and be so convincing with it, you know, that's a sign of a good actress. Huh?
All those smacks into the guys' heads with hammers. It's fucking that. There's something about hammer blows to the head. It's always had me like something that always makes me wince a little bit. It's just that sound and that heftiness of, you know, you can imagine that would really shatter your fucking skull. Like,
and I think it's a thing as well with hammer blows. It's something that's available so easily as well. Just go into pound shop, pick up a hammer.
That's it. Go out into the street, start hammer time then. So
it is. You can't touch this.
That's it. You can't touch this. Fucking hammer time. 2 hammers in your hands. Fucking hammers into the head everywhere.
Yeah, another movie franchise. Job sorted.
That's it. That's it. So what are we actually going to call that though?
It's hammer time.
Hammer time.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
then
Mr. Hammer can probably do a soundtrack as well.
You could turn around then to his wife, like, because she doesn't know that he's doing this shit, and she's like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and get hammered." actually, that would
tagline there. Let's get hammered.
I suppose that would kind of insinuate that he's gonna get hammered though. Yeah. So we need to think about that. Yeah. Or he could, when he does it to somebody, just turn around and goes, "You're hammered." There we go. Nice. There we go. That's another film there.
Yeah. Weinstein's going to be very happy with us.
Oh yeah, and we're going to be very sad.
Yeah. Confused.
Very sad. Hashtag men's rights or something. I don't know. Yeah. What is it? What? Me too? That's it. Hashtag me too.
Yeah.
So I think that gives everyone a little bit of a taster of who we are anyway.
Yeah. So as you say, in a probably 45-minute podcast, we'll probably end up talking about 10 minutes of movies. That's just going to be awful.
Yeah. No, we knew this show was more of a practice run. We wanted to just share a little bit about us so you got to know us. We have actually got structured plans for the shows going forward.
I actually even wrote it down. That's how organised I am. I wrote shit down.
Yeah, the reason why I'm wearing these awesome shades is not only to hide my heroin-fueled eyes, but also because I can look at my monitor where I've got a list of things written down, and nobody can see that I've got notes here. So what we got? So a few things that we're going to have, which are going to be regular on our shows. I'm going to talk a little bit more about them. Each week we're going to talk about a film each that the other person has decided for the other person. So I mean, we can even do that first bit now, just so we know what films we're going to be talking about on the next show. So Mac, as you mentioned it the other day that you hadn't seen it before, and I thought it might be cool for you to check out Hostel.
Okay, brilliant. So one of those films I feel like I should have seen.
Yeah,
it's a huge film, and I just never got around to watching it.
It's not the greatest film in the world, but it's possibly one of 3 Eli Roth films which are tolerable. So
and to be controversial because some people worship him, but I think Eli Roth is so fucking overrated.
Yeah, no, he's got a couple of things like I liked. I mean, did he do Clown?
Did he produce it? I think he just produced it, didn't he? I'm not too sure. We have to get onto that, and we'll put up an update on our social media site or something just to clarify. But I think he just produced it. Yeah, but that's pretty good. Cabin Fever, I thought was fun. I thought it was a good fun film. There was some cool little elements in there, you know, lots of homages to other films and lots of things that were left open. I never
Never saw the remake.
Yeah, what's the fuck's that about when you get remakes of films which are not even 20 years old yet?
Yeah, and it was his own film as well. Green Inferno. I think it's Green Inferno, isn't it?
That's the cannibal one, isn't it?
No, that had so much fucking promise, right? It was a really, really good homage to Cannibal Holocaust. Some really fucking nasty stuff in it. But he ballsed it all up with a story, and like the end of it, I was just like, you could have just kept it simple. If you had kept it simple without trying to be, he was trying to make a statement, and it was going down the path of power to females and power to women and shit. And no disrespect to women, I like women quite a lot. You know, they're all right, but it was, rather than going with complete homage and doing what he should have done in the film, it was this woman became kick-ass and fucking saved the day, and I was like, I just wanted to see her get eaten, like every other fucker. Everyone wants to be fucking eaten in that film. But yeah, so Hostel, I think you'll enjoy Hostel. It's nowhere near as bad as it was advertised. I mean, like, they advertise it going, this is, I wouldn't even say it's torture porn, to be honest. There's a couple of scenes in it where you're like, it's quite gory. But a lot of the stuff happens off camera. So you'll see things like a drill going towards stuff, and then the camera will pull away. Don't get me wrong, you'll see a few kind of balls to the wall gore bits in there. But yeah, I think you'll have a bit of fun. So that'll be the film that Mac's going to watch in preparation for the next podcast, where Mac will then tell us what he thinks about it, give us a bit of an overview of the film, and then I'll join him and we'll have a little chat about it after. And now Mac's going to tell me what I'm watching.
Okay, it's one I mentioned to you the other day, and it's amazing. We were on about earlier about killer robots, so this ties in perfectly to that. It's one called Chopping Mall.
Okay.
It's an amazing title, and it's just such a bonkers, fun film. I won't say too much more about it, but it is just absolutely, it's just pure 80s. It's
awesome.
The concept is just so bizarre in itself. It's so simple, but so bizarre.
About it. I don't think I know a single thing about it, to be honest.
Well, the original title was going to be called Killbots, but it flopped under that title, so we remarketed it under Chopping Mall, which is an amazing, great title. But I won't say too much more about it because it'll just spoil the ride. But it's it's just great. I think you'll have a time of your life with it, really.
Awesome, cool. Yeah. Okay, so that'll be the film that I'll be watching. And because my memory's so shit, I'm going to watch Hostel again anyway, so that I can get some sort of an idea about it. So that'll be what we'll be doing then on each show. We'll pick a film, and we also want to try and get people involved in social media as well. So, we'd love it if you guys want to watch the same films and put some comments on the Movie Offal Facebook page as well to say what you think about Hostel and Chopping Mall. Get that on there. And another then regular sort of section that we're going to have on this is the Offal Royale, which is a film tournament section, which I'll list the films that we've got in this tournament. And then, Mac, if you can kind of explain the rules of what's going to happen.
Yeah, most definitely.
So the 7 films that Mac has picked in the tournament, and these are his films which he thinks are going to beat mine, are Demon Warp, Reanimator, Waxworks, Evil Dead 2, The Blob, 1988 version, Night of the Creeps, and Prince of Darkness. My films are Child's Play 2, Troll 1, Extro, House by the Cemetery, Puppet Master, Hellraiser, and then I did make a slight change. I've got Cannibal Ferox in there now.
Oh, cheeky.
Yeah, cheeky Cannibal Ferox.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you, Mac, to explain the rules for this.
So basically what this is as Karl says, we're going to be putting 2 films each week against each other. We're going to pitch them to you, the listeners, and then you get to vote on our social media site as to which one you think should win. So we've got a Facebook page made up, and we're going to list the films. So, for example, I pick one film one week at random, Karl picks another one, and then we will just pitch the hell out of those films, why they're the best film ever. Even if they're not the best film ever, we're just going to be pitching that shit.
And you guys are joining us on Facebook, have got to base it purely on our pitch, not your knowledge of the film. It's got to be based on our pitch.
Yeah.
Because I will be fabricating quite a lot of the stuff that I say about my films, because either my memory shit or the films I picked were ridiculous.
That's it, because we all know Hellraiser is one of the greatest films of all time. But if we're just doing it purely on pitch, is it really better than Demon Warp? You know, it's.
I don't think Demon Warp is going to be beatable, to be honest. I mean,
it's
fucking demonic, alien, Bigfoot, cabin in the woods style horror film.
It's so good. It never even got anything past a VHS release. That's. But I'm going to say, I don't want to go too far ahead of myself. It's we'll save that for the thing.
We'll save that for the Offal Royale.
Yeah. But as I say, it'll be totally down to you guys as well. We want to make it as interactive as possible. So you are our audience. We are pitching it to you. You vote for it. And whoever gets the most wins throughout the series, I'll make up a little trophy. And whoever loses will get maybe a cheeky forfeit or something. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I think it's good. Because one of the other things is that as well as this podcast being, obviously a podcast that you listen to, we will be recording videos and recording this as a video as we are right now. So there will be a little bit extra if you decide to watch the video version, which will include forfeits and bits and pieces as well. We're going to have random questions that I will ask about Hostel. Mac will have questions to ask me, and there will be forfeits if we get the questions wrong as well.
Go back to rules then. I forgot to add. Basically, we'll just decide who wins it just by doing votes or emojis or whatever, just as which one you want to win. Either do a heart face for one film or a smiley face for another film, and whoever's got the most hearts or smiley faces, whichever ones we decide, will be the winner that week.
Can we do smiley hearts?
Smiley hearts, yeah. Or hearty faces.
Or shit. Like
shit
emoticons. But yeah, I think we can do like a little voting thing in there as well.
Yeah, you can create a poll, I think.
We'll work it out on there.
Yeah, so I can only just about log on. I can't create polls, but I'm sure Karl is a technical whiz here, so he'll be.
I'm tech wizard.
Yeah. So we can have like a wizard battle, tech wizard battle at the end of Ghoulies, and one of us will end up with green eyes maybe at the end.
Green eyes, mate. Yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes, sorry.
Green eyes makes sense. Yellow eyes? Yeah. What the fuck? What?
Then again, thinking about it, the demons had yellow eyes as well. So, we obviously know more about that than we do.
Yeah, maybe it's more common than we thought. Oh, Yellow Eyes in Supernatural. He was a lead character for a while. Nope.
BT.
I actually had a fry just before doing this, and I could just taste pure lemony sausage there. Like a little bit of sick in it as well.
Nice. The best type.
So I think we're coming towards the end of our show, really.
Oh shit, man!
Our first show.
I think that went too quick. Very quick.
It went a little too quick. Mac is going to be the editor for this. People that are watching it on YouTube, you'll be lucky enough to see unfiltered, scrappy as fuck, messed up drivel in between everything, whilst Mac trims the fat a little bit and adds some songs and other bits and pieces.
Yeah, just add some various random shit, which I haven't even got anything to do with a podcast. I just add random shit.
Just slot them in there. I'm going to say a big thank you to Jason Beggs, aka what's he fucking called again online?
Mr. the Big Man, is it? Or...
There's Mr. the Big Man and Fat Lad Food.
And also, I'd like to say as well, while you're on the subject of Jason, congratulations on your christening today. Not your christening, obviously your child's christening.
No, he's being christened as well.
Oh, brilliant. It's a 2-for-1 offer, is it?
I'm going to be christening him.
Yeah, brilliant.
Going to give him a nice little warm shower.
Well, we are actually certified priests, aren't we? Back from our university days.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Remember, we blessed the takeaway guy as he brought our food to us. I remember dressed up as people from another country, let's say, going into the corner shop.
Yeah. For those not in on reading joke, Karl and I were also, as well as going to school together, working together, we also ended up in university together. And just for shits and giggles, we would just order takeaway and just do fancy dress just for when people would deliver food to us, just to confuse them.
Yeah, and they often were.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, we were usually confused at this point as well. So yeah, so that's the sort of thing that Mac will be chopping out of the podcast to keep it nice and neat. So yep, thanks for listening, everybody. And I think that covers everything, doesn't it? Was there anything?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was one more thing. If anyone's got anything they'd like me and Mac to announce, or any messages you'd like us to relay, so
any questions, anything at all,
send them our way. Maybe you'd like us to record a little message for you to say to your manager that we're your dad and that you won't be in work tomorrow because you've got a bad tummy, or you want some time off PE because you've got AIDS. Something like that.
Yeah. That's a very disturbing thought. Like a little kid's going to a PE teacher. I can't do PE today because I got AIDS.
Yeah. What's the PE teacher gonna say? What's Mr. Brown gonna say?
Yeah, that's it.
He's gonna go, listen, do it in your pants and socks then.
Yeah.
Can PE
But I got
still...
my kit. Don't matter.
Yeah. Can PE teachers still force children to do things in their underwear these days?
Part of me hopes they can.
Yeah, me too.